really excited about today's video because I'm going to do a Beauty Blender Showdown. I have 4 different beauty sponges that I'm going to share with you, and I want to compare them to the original Beauty Blender because it's holy grail for so many people, but it's a $20 sponge, so I feel like people are always looking for a good dupe or something that can replace it and work just as well. So I have some options for you that are affordable, and I'm really excited to share them with you. First of all, I wanted to show you what they look like when they're dry. Obviously, they're much smaller when they are dry. They don't have any liquid in them. This is the original Beauty Blender before it has been dampened. And it's quite petite in size, but it's still quite soft and very spongy. I want to compare that quickly to the Real Techniques Complexion Perfection Sponge. Is that what it's called? I think so. It's something like that. The Real Techniques Complexion Sponge. But it's larger in size when it's dry, you can see. But it also is much firmer. It does not have the same amount of give as the Beauty Blender does. So if you are tempted to pick it up when it's dry, this one's going to be pretty unpleasant to use because it will feel like you're just like jamming it against your skin. It doesn't have enough give for it to be comfortable, in my opinion. I will wet these for you so that you can see them as well in their full size and how spongy or flexible they are when they are moistened. So this is the Real Techniques one. This will run you about $7, and you can pick them up from Bed Bath & Beyond, from Ulta, from just a lot of different places. So I love how readily available this sponge is. And another fun thing about it is how it has a flat edge. Sorry, mine is dirty because I used this one most recently. But the flat edge is kind of a unique thing that none of the other ones that I'm going to show you today have. But it really makes it easy to apply product to the broadest areas of your face. Not that it's difficult, honestly, with the Beauty Blender or something else, but it's just kind of a unique concept that the Real Techniques sponge has and the others don't. So another one that I wanted to share with you is from BH Cosmetics. I recently hauled this one in a cruelty-free haul, so this is from a cruelty-free company. The great news is every single one that I'm sharing with you today is a cruelty-free product. So the original Beauty Blender is cruelty-free, as well as Real Techniques and BH Cosmetics. So BH Cosmetics sponge is a little bit different in size and shape. It's a little bit more squat looking, where this is more of a traditional egg shape. This one has a bit of a fatter bottom and more of a pointed tip. And again, when we're comparing sponginess, there's just a lot more give in the Beauty Blender. It's so easy to compact it, where this one takes quite a bit more work. Texture-wise, if you feel the surface of these, this one by BH Cosmetics is very soft. So I feel like this one, if you're applying dry, yes, it's very firm, and so it might feel like you're beating it into your face, but texture-wise, it's very, very soft feeling, where this one has more of a spongy, porous feeling. So those are those two by comparison. And the last one I want to share with you is from H&M, and it's their beauty sponge. The H&M sponge is probably the most similar in shape. It is an egg shape, but it has a little ridge around the center, a little upraised area, which kind of makes it easy to grip. I don't know that it's really a feature that's necessary, but it has it. And it feels the most similar in texture to me when I feel, as they're dry, when I feel them just, you know, across the surface of the sponge. They're very, very similar. When I compress them, they're also the most similar. There's quite a bit of give in the H&M sponge. It's not quite as soft and spongy. It doesn't give quite as much as the Beauty Blender, which is why I know it's everyone's favorite, because it is just so soft and nice to use on the face. But this one is very close. I'm going to go ahead and dampen all of these and show you them at full size and talk about some of the pros and cons. I'm going to go ahead and rank them for you, in my opinion, which ones I think are the best. All right, so here we go with round 2 of the Beauty Blenders dampened. You can probably already tell how much they've grown in size. They really do become very large and very soft once they've all been dampened with water. So what I like to do is I run the sponge under the water and I squeeze the water in and out of it several times before squeezing out as much as I can by hand and then squeezing it once again in a clean towel so that it's truly just damp and there's no excess water that can come from the sponge. So this is the original Beautyblender and it's a wonderful sponge. You really can't go wrong with one of these. The $20 price tag is high, but you get just a beautiful, effective sponge. It's a joy to use. The sort of damp coolness against your skin feels amazing, and it's incredibly soft. Also, it just applies foundation in such a natural way, especially if you have a heavier coverage foundation or something that you feel like is just sort of sitting on your skin uncomfortably. You like the coverage, maybe you like the color match, but it doesn't texture-wise look the way you want it to. Using a beauty sponge is a great way to make it look more natural. So I have to highly recommend the original Beautyblender. Now, this one I have had for a year. That's a long time to keep a sponge, and you might be grossed out by the thought of that, but honestly, I don't use the Beautyblender every day. I have other sponges that I do use, and I use brushes from time to time depending on the foundation that I'm using. So it's not an everyday use for a year kind of product, but I know some people who use them daily do say they last for several months. There are ways to sanitize them to make sure that they're not harboring any bacteria, but it's just a fantastic thing to use. So by comparison, if you are looking for something that is cheaper, you do have something like the Real Technique sponge. So here we are in size comparison once they're both moistened, and the Real Technique sponge is very nice to use. It's very soft, very similar feeling once it has been saturated and then squeezed out so that it's just damp. It feels very similar in sponginess to the Beautyblender. And I think that you would really enjoy using this if you like the Beautyblender. Or if you're just not about that life, you do not want to spend $20, you don't even want to try it in case you fall in love with it and need to continue spending $20, then you might want to check out the Real Techniques one because it is fantastic. One thing about this one I find is that it's a little bit harder to clean. For some reason, I can't quite get all of the stains out of this one. I mean, it will be clean, but it can be stained looking. That happens with the Beautyblender as well. You can see the bottom of mine has a bit of a discoloration from the foundation use, but again, it's looking like this after a year of use, so that's pretty impressive. This one, though, again, has maybe been about 6 months of use, and it's just a little bit more stained. This one also tends to shed. There are little pieces of the sponge that sort of come out. I'm not sure if you can see where there are little like dips and crevices in the sponge where it's sort of shed a little bit as it's been cleaned and used over its lifespan. So I don't think its lifespan is quite as long as the original Beautyblender, so it might be a toss-up in terms of affordability then, but $7, no matter which way you look at it, is definitely more affordable. I want to take a look next at the BH Cosmetics sponge. So remember, this one is a little bit more stout and it's a little bit more dense feeling as well. So it's not quite as spongy, but once again, you can see that there's a really good amount of give in both products. What I love about this one is somehow the spongy material is very velvety feeling. And I'm pretty sure that all of these are latex free. If that's something you have an allergy to, you definitely want to check to make sure that they don't have latex before you buy, but I'm pretty sure none of these do. And whatever the material of this one is, it is really nice. It feels so good on the skin, just the softness and the coolness, and it does have the same kind of give, maybe not quite as much of the sponginess. It doesn't spring back quite as much or give as you press it to your skin. So not quite as soft in that way, but texture-wise, it is absolutely wonderful. I really enjoy using this one. This one is a $5 product, so this is even cheaper, and it's available at BH Cosmetics website, and BH Cosmetics is a Leaping Bunny certified brand, so great value for this sponge. Lastly, I want to show you the H&M sponge once again. So here's how it looks once it's all saturated. Very comparable. I feel like if we're looking for a dupe, this one comes the closest. The H&M sponge is so similar in size and shape, so similar in texture. I almost think if you didn't know better and you closed your eyes and I put these in your hands, that you would think that you are feeling the same sponge. They're really that nice. And even though this is white and you think, oh boy, that is not gonna come clean, it really does. I've been using this a bunch. I think I did my H&M haul maybe 3 months ago, and I have been using this a lot, and I really like it. So I'd have to highly recommend this one, and I have to say out of all of them, I think they're all fantastic. I really would love to have any one of these as my option as a beauty blender to apply my foundation. They just do such a fantastic job. They feel nice. It's a nice experience. But I would say the H&M one is the closest thing to a dupe to the Beauty Blender. And this one, best of all, is only $3. So you cannot beat that price. You guys, I hope you found this really helpful, and I want to thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. I hope that you'll like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you next time. Bye.